What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about The Lost City. So I just got back from AMC where I got to check out an early screening for The Lost City, only a day early. I know there's already some reviews up for this and they had earlier screenings in the week that I wasn't able to make, but I am happy to finally say that I checked this movie out and I had a lot of fun watching this movie. If you've seen the posters and the trailers and you think that this is just going to be another generic action adventure kind of romance film, in a lot of ways I can see why you would feel that way, but I'm happy to say that this movie was such a good time. I saw it with a packed theater. Everybody was laughing, was into what was going on. There was a lot of audience commentary throughout, and overall this was a really fun experience and probably one of the funniest experiences I've had in a theater this year. This film is directed and written by Adam and Aaron Nee, who are brothers, and yeah, they also were part of the writing team with a few others. And this film stars people like Sandra Bullock, Daniel Radcliffe, Channing Tatum, Brad Pitt, Divine Joy Randolph, and many more. And overall I found this to be a really entertaining film that really tells, a story that can be kind of predictable in a lot of ways, but in a cool, fun way that had a lot of really funny moments, utilizes a lot of really great action in a very comedic way that's very well choreographed and entertaining to watch. And overall this was just a really fun, breezy watch that even when it slows down, the characters are interesting enough to really keep you engaged throughout the entirety of the runtime. I was honestly never bored while watching this, and myself as well as the entire crowd that I was with watching this movie was having a good time. We were all having a laugh, and there were so many moments in this film that I honestly can't wait to revisit. The basic premise of this film is you have Sandra Bullock, who plays a woman named Loretta Sage, who is an accomplished novelist of these romantic adventure books, and she has Channing Tatum, who plays this guy named Alan, or in the books known as Dash, who plays a Fabio type of character in her books, but of course it's a character from a book, so he's really just the cover model, but he's kind of taken this persona on a little bit too far. And yeah, this kind of sets up a dynamic that we've seen before where, they're not necessarily 100% compatible. One of them likes the other person, but the other one doesn't really like them. And over the course of the film, they kind of learn to, grow closer to one another and learn more about each other. And in a lot of ways, you've seen this movie. In a lot of ways, there are predictable elements, but this was just an entertaining execution of a very familiar idea. We get into the story, and Loretta is really not at the top of her game anymore. We find out that a few years back, her husband passed away, who was a really big part of her writing process. A lot of her books have to do with ancient history or, fantasy or fictional tales in some sort of, historical setting. And she would use her husband, who was an archaeologist, to kind of help, get some knowledge in terms of things that she needed for her book, do explorations with him, and he was just a really big part of what made her books what they were. And she's kind of lost the inspiration since his passing, and she's just kind of phoning it in at this point. That's when Daniel Radcliffe's character shows up and pretty much tells her, hey, the thing that's in your book, your latest book, I want you to come help me find it. And she doesn't want to, so he kidnaps her. And you have Channing Tatum playing his character Dash from the books in a way and feeling like he can go and rescue her. So you have Channing Tatum as this cover model going as this big kind of goofy oaf to try and save somebody that he has secret feelings for and is also the author of these books that have given him a career. And I won't say too much more of what goes on, but this is pretty much a goofy oaf going to save somebody that he cares a lot about, and that person on the other side doesn't necessarily 100% believe in him. But over the course of the film, they build a really great friendship and romance, and I was really into what was going on. If you've seen the trailers, you know where this movie's going, you know what this kind of movie is, but ultimately I found myself really engaged in the way that the story was told. I found myself really engaged in the characters, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the movie gives the characters a lot of time to breathe and get to know each other. On top of that, they're consistently caught into big over-the-top antics, silly moments, and this movie is just filled with big over-the-top moments that had me and the entire audience laughing from beginning to end. I was really excited going into this movie because something about it just felt like it was going to be a good, fun watch at the theaters, and I wasn't really expecting it to be as good as it was, but I'm so happy to have seen it and actually really thoroughly enjoyed it. I was really engaged in what was going on. I was really into these characters. I was really enjoying their adventure, even if it did feel predictable at times. And where this movie really shines is in its action, its visuals, its its use of practical effects, as well as its choreography and its action that did lend itself quite a bit to comedy. There are so many moments throughout the action in this film where you are laughing, and the hijinks and the various things that they're kind of stuck into throughout the course of this film are really entertaining to watch, and is consistently funny. I felt like the audience was having a laugh per minute, if not less than that. There was consistently moments throughout the movie with the characters that really got you engaged in who they were and made certain moments later on in the movie a lot funnier. There's also a lot of shocks throughout the course of the film. Even though this movie is a bit predictable, as I mentioned, yeah, this is the situation where, watching this movie, I was consistently surprised, and there were multiple moments where the entire audience did a gasp and a laugh or just a moment of shock while watching it, because these moments that you didn't expect that were going to happen. So in a movie that feels very familiar, that has predictable elements where you can kind of see where a lot of the main elements are going to go, there is still a lot of surprise throughout, and I was very happy to see that while watching this movie. Overall, this is a Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum film that I look forward to checking out again. They had great chemistry throughout, and Daniel Radcliffe as the villain, he was hamming it up. He was having so much fun in this role, and I think out of everybody in the film, he gave the most just intense performance. I felt like he was really trying to act throughout the course of this film, and I just really thoroughly enjoyed everybody's commitment to what could have been a very cookie cutter movie. I think the performances in this movie and the humor really elevated from being a predictable film to being something that was just flat out entertaining and completely engaging to watch from beginning to end. I highly recommend checking out The Lost City if you're just looking for a good popcorn film with the family to sit down and have a laugh with. I think this is the best kind of movie to check out. If you can check it out in theaters earlier in its release cycle, where there's going to be more people in the theater, I think it'll make for the best experience, honestly, because I had tons of fun with this packed theater tonight. And yeah, I thought this movie was a good, fun time, and I could just consistently say that this is just a good, funny movie. Like, we came out of the movie, me, my mom, and the Big Rob Theory, just talking about so many moments that were so funny throughout the course of the film, and just laughing in the hallways as we were leaving the theater, just simply on remembering these moments. I think that this is definitely the funniest movie I've seen in theaters this year, and yeah, I definitely want to check it out again. So that's going to be my thoughts on The Lost City. I really enjoyed this film. I also want to mention that I really enjoyed the themes of the film, and I was kind of struggling on whether or not I wanted to mention the themes, and I'm not going to get too deep into them because they do kind of tell you where the story goes a little bit, but this is a movie in a lot of ways about picking yourself back up and not judging a book by its cover. And that's what I'll say. I won't say too much more, but I enjoyed that message. I enjoyed the core of the story. I enjoyed the characters, and I love that they took something that could have just been another predictable action adventure and made it something with heart and charm, with characters that are incredibly likable. So I hope you guys enjoy The Lost City as much as I did, but if you didn't, that's just how movies go, and I can't wait to hear what all of you guys have to say about this movie down below. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know down below. If you didn't enjoy it, let me know down below as well. Also hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.